Now that we've completed our washing of our milk pails and the equipment that goes with our milk pails, I like to stress the fact of having them properly stored. As you can see, we have our milk pails upside down to thoroughly drain and air dry. We've taken the parts apart that go to our milk pail lids, our pulsators and things like that. We've got everything stored. We've got vacuum hoses now that are washed. We have them designed here to be able to drain. Same as your Sputnik filter tubes. We have things sitting here so they can drain, air dry. And I like to stress also, as you're using your soaps and your acids, that you are properly storing them. Do not let your soaps with the chlorine get in the sunlight, get next to the heat, because that will vaporize your chlorine. It will no longer be effective if you lose the chlorine strength. So when you're using a small container, maybe as you're taking out of a larger container, be sure it's a container that's colored. We marked this one to say, yes, it's not Cool Whip, but it's actually a manual soap. So you want to be careful that you're getting everything properly and thoroughly labeled and stored. And just cannot emphasize enough taking the right time with that too. Because this soap here, if you have it sitting next to maybe like your hot water heater, or you have it sitting next to where the sunlight's coming in, you're going to bleach off that chlorine. And you're thinking you're using it and getting the effects, you may not. So take your time once again to have everything set up. Stress again as far as working with your field reps, working with your service techs, your supply techs, getting a protocol set up on how you're going to use your soaps and what soaps you will use, what acids you will use, what sanitizers, having everything set to your farm. Because your farm is a unique farm. And it's your farm. You can't say this farm's going to operate exactly the same as the neighbor's farm or maybe your brother or another family member farm. Have everything checked, have everything set, and then follow those procedures. Twice a day, 7 days a week. And as things change, whether you change the soap or whether something happened to your well or something that has changed in your operation, be sure you recheck it. That's what they're out here for. We have the opportunity, and we are very fortunate that we do live in an area that we have that opportunity. So once again, check everything, keep your system working properly, make sure your vacuums and all that stuff are up to par, that you are using everything the way it's designed to use. Now that we've finished our milk house cleaning, we've done all our equipment, our milk equipment, we've done our bulk tank, we've got everything put away and stored, that it gets proper drying time, air time, that everything is ready for you to start your next milking. We want to make sure too, our last thing that we do, or one of the last things that you do, is be sure you're washing everything down in the milk house. You have farm matter, organic matter around, and we want to make sure that it's all cleaned away. Especially here in front of your tank valve, be sure that's clean and neat. If you spray some water on there, just take a little bit of sanitizer and spray on there or hit it again, so we don't want to violate that until we're ready to start milking. And that's it. That's just the one time, and we really suggest that you do a thorough cleaning every time. Like we mentioned earlier, you can multitask some of these things, and that's fine, but just don't allow yourself to multitask too much. That you're not really getting the complete coverage. As a summary, be sure you're checking your equipment, taking things apart, getting them clean, inspecting them, making sure the gaskets, O-rings, inflations, hoses, everything's being kept up to the standards that it needs to give you a good harvest of your milk. Another thing we like to be able to bring to your attention is keeping your milk house ventilated, keeping a nice airflow to be able to keep the ceilings, the walls, and even the floors drying down, that we don't get a lot of condensation, getting the algae, the molds building up in the milk houses. Another area is providing adequate lighting. Today is a very beautiful day. We have a lot of lighting here, a lot of windows to give us the lighting we need to do our procedures and cleanings as we need to. But seasons change, and we get into those long winter months where you don't have adequate lighting in the morning, evening. You need to have adequate lighting. If you can't see it, you can't clean it. And to really give yourself enough of lighting, and what is a measure of lighting? Well, work with your field rep. We have ways of testing to make sure that you do have good adequate lighting. But the big thing is to be able to see your equipment as you're cleaning it, as you once again you come back in, preparing yourself to milk in the evening, to harvest that milk again, looking your equipment over. I can't emphasize enough too, as you set up a protocol for your equipment, that you're taking your equipment apart, looking at the gaskets, looking at the O-rings, looking at everything, taking it apart and examining it on a regular basis. Some things need to be done daily, some things need to be done weekly, monthly, quarterly. Set up something that will work for you, that you're getting everything covered. Inflations, the whole thing. If you're not getting air tubes, inflations change, you're really affecting the opportunity to give your cows the best able to milk. So do a good job of examining everything. Pulsators, I know many guys will have people come in and set them up twice a year. Vacuum lines are another area. They're kind of a system in itself. So be sure that you're getting your vacuums, your pulsators, your automatic washers, soaks tested, everything done that gives you the best opportunity to, what we want to come into then is expanding the quality premiums. Doing all this extra work and say you're providing more money or needing more money to buy more cleaners or something like that. Well, we've really examined that, and when you look at your quality premiums that are available out there, basically by every handler, every buyer, every co-op, whoever you're working with, there's plenty of money there to be able to cover all those costs. And that's just a small percentage of what you can receive. You look at the quality of the cow, the health of the cow will give you more milk. Less treatments. Once again, it's less expense. So doing all this has its benefits.